Oh, that's good, Dad. That's good. Like it.
That's hold the whole head.
Yeah, pots and pans.
You're holding the camera properly as well. It's great.
It's just so
different
crisp,
colours,
isn't it? The quality
Yeah.
is amazing.
And that was taken with my old 600mm, which I actually dug out yesterday. Just have a look. Still there. Perfect glass.
Did you ever shoot in the water?
Yeah, I did. It's only with a 24mm, and you've only got,
You've only got 35 shots, haven't you?
35 shots. Richie Woods. Goldsmiths. So that's Goldsmiths. There's old Ren using his Get-It gun as well.
Yeah, his big gun there. James Hick.
Yeah, when he was 15.
Wow.
That's before
He's still out in Southwest Australia, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still there. Anyway, there you go. Right, coffee time.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
Photography, yeah, I mean, bloody hell, it's gone through a few things. Do you want milk, Matt?
It's gone through a lot of changes there. We can chat about that.
Yeah.
No, just black coffee, please, with the sugar. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Back of the net.
Back of the net.
1, 2,
How's that
1,
working?
2. 1, 2.
Have a little walk around, but it's a little bit chilly today, mate.
You're starting off. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be sunny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, beautiful light. Get the light streaming through. Do the glory shots. And then go down the hill, like you said. Yay.
Yeah, have a little walk down there. Go say hello to all your friends down there.
All the geese.
So, Dave, thanks for this.
Yes. Go on then.
I wanted to kind of revisit this conversation. Last time I was here was 8 years ago, and I'd learned a little bit more about your life that I didn't know about before. I've always been incredibly inspired by you. You were one of the people I looked up to when I was a teenager, and I saw this guy with a camera in his hand, and he was always running around with this big smile and always really happy on life and always wanting to go surfing. And I never actually knew if you did any work because you were always in the water and you're always surfing, but seeing your energy and hearing your stories really it's definitely, you were one of my inspirations growing up as a photographer. And I just want to dive a little bit deeper and understand from your point of view, like what inspired you? What was your inspiration going back? Do you remember what kind of got you into photography?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of my best mates, Pete Journeau. Now, he had a camera. We're about 15, maybe 16 years old. So this is back in the mid-70s. So photography was pretty pure then, film cameras, stuff like that, box brownies. Pete was taking all these great shots. I thought, oh, that looks really good. But I never really sort of got a hold of it, got up to grips with camera, because my mum and dad didn't buy me any cameras or anything, or didn't see that was my path in life.
Yeah.
But at that time, I used to paint a lot. I used to make pots. I used to do a lot of ceramics, because I've still got it, actually.
You probably broke it all the wild parties you used to have, to be fair.
No. So back 70s. So yeah, here we are. I was taking A levels at the time, old style exams, and art was there. That was one of my main things, along with history, and funnily enough, chemistry. Which actually, the chemistry side of the A level at the time, actually, I did sort of a lot of the equations in organic chemistry is actually quite helpful when I was actually later in life, when I was developing film and
of course.
negatives and printing, stuff like that, because obviously you've got to use all those chemicals that do all that stuff. So late teenage years, friends had cameras, I didn't. They seemed to be really cool, a bit like you. Looking up to me, I was looking up to them. There's another guy called Ian Roberts, used to have and Jerry George, surfers who had the Bolex cameras, and they're filming all the surfing at the time. Some great filming of surfing as well in that sort of generation. And obviously I picked up surfing as well. So surfing, art, photography, inspiration is from the beach, funnily enough. My early sort of view on photography and how I was going to actually try and do photography as a job. That was the next stage of my life. So from the early days of actually thinking about art, and then I suddenly twigged, so God, what would it be like to be a photographer? Because I'm interested in art. A lot of my family are creatives. My cousin Richard Walker, he has a long following of people. He's a very famous artist in London. My mum was always really interested in the creative interior design side of houses and stuff like that. She liked traveling as well. And that was the added, also the added thing and then I'm going to have to get the cat.
You let can.
Yeah.
The cat can be annoying. Puss.
Right, back on.
It's been left out.
My dad said, right, let's go to America. Just have a look at America, first time in America. But obviously I was in that area, you know, full military zone. So it's a bit one-sided. I sort of went, you know, maybe not. But anyway, on that trip, he said, right, we've seen enough of, you know, Virginia. Let's go down to Florida. You can have a little surf at San Sebastian. And my dad said, I hear you're interested in photography. I went, yeah. Do you want a camera? So I went, yeah. So that was my first, he said, right, what do you want? So a guy behind the desk went, yeah, it's Olympus. You want to get an Olympus camera? And then, so I got an OM10, got a manual override, got a standard lens, 50mm, and that was it. So I came back to Jersey with a camera, a couple of rolls of Kodak film, and just pushed it through. And then just sort of felt the camera, get the technical side. Then I went and saw two photographers who've helped me start my career, basically. One was Ron Weiss, and the other one was Joe Bates. Ron got me into how to sort of do the technical side of printing, developing their black and white nags, get stuff printed up. So I found that really interesting, watching your pictures just come up in a dev tank, and then you fix it and wash it, and then you hang it up. You look at that and you go, wow, that's amazing. You know, that's truly amazing. If you're a 19-year-old, first time doing printing, you go, wow, that's really cool. And then you look at all Ron's pictures on the walls and you go, wow, look at that. You know, that's great. How do you do this? How do you do that? So, yeah. And then I spoke to Ron. Funny, I said, how do I make a career out of this? This is now, early 80s. And he said, you've got to go and see Joe Bates. So I did. And that's how really my career in photography started. And literally I joined into a commercial studio, learned how to use all the old large format cameras, used studio equipment, obviously the old style lighting. We used Bowen's equipment at the time, which was both, you can use it in studio and mobile. So I got used to use all that. So I used to get all my friends in there and take pictures of them, and get my family in there and get pictures of them, you know, just using kit. The studio is based in town. Joe made me go out and walk around town with a Mamiya C330 it was. So in other words, everything was a parallax, everything was reversed to what you saw through the lens, basically.
Yeah.
Well, that's a Rolly.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But I actually did most of my stuff on a Mamiya. Again, a twin reflex. Used a 105 lens and just walked around doing candid stuff around town.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the 80s. So I've got a lot of 2 1/4 negs, which I haven't really printed yet.
So kind of like street photography.
Street photography in the 80s, yeah. I did all that. So I learned through books the actual art of that. But the money and the economic side of it. So my mum and dad now going, you know, you're costing us now. I set up a dark room in my mum's bathroom. So my mum had to use my dad's bathroom. or the next door. Yeah, so our house is a bit taken over by photography. But my mum loved it because he thought, well, it's a creative source and he's doing something. Joe's got him on now. He's learning stuff. My dad was going, he's not earning enough money. So that's when the night photography kicked in. So I used to learn everything off Joe in the day. And then I used to go and work for a company and go around all the nightclubs, taking pictures of all the people, either at the park or all the clubs. There used to be loads of clubs here in Jersey. Obviously, I wasn't very confident with people at the time.
Yeah, that's interesting. How old were you
when I started?
Yeah, when you were
21.
Doing this. So you're 21, you didn't really have a lot of confidence. You were brought up in Jersey, small island, but then, so what did having a camera in front of you, how did that make you feel? What did that give you the ability to do?
weirdly, it felt like I was actually somebody unique and special. I had a talent and I was using it. I thought I was the next David Bailey. So when you try and explain photography and the photographers that Joe was introducing to me through all these books, I used to go to girls, boys, or men, for anybody, and I say, well, I'm influenced by these guys. They're really good. I want to be a photographer like that. I have to say, a lot of the girls were quite impressed because I wasn't in the bank. I wasn't working in a bank. I wasn't doing, boring jobs. I was out there, I would say.
Have you got a picture of you back in the day when you had a camera in hand? Did you go around in a leather jacket and
yeah, I did. Yeah.
smooth, like slick back hair kind of thing?
I had long hair. I was a surfer. So
yeah.
And I haven't mentioned that yet because I thought if I can manage my life by surfing and doing photography, I've won. I've actually nailed it. And funnily enough, I actually nailed it way back when I was 24.
Well, it's good. I mean, saying it back then as well, there's two things there. One, surfers weren't earning money and photographers weren't earning any money, except they're the very good ones in London or New York, right? Is that fair to say? I mean, it's like, how did you know that this can be a career path for me when your dad definitely wouldn't have thought that. No one else would have thought that photography could be a career path. How did you kind of like have that inkling in your head? What made you think, oh, I can really turn this into something?
Yeah, I think it was the encouragement of Joe Bates. I said, yeah, you've got a talent, make use of it. So it then becomes, you've got to have inner belief. You've got to believe in yourself. It's clear, any job now, you've got to have belief and you've got to be determined. You also got to have the resilience to take all the knockbacks. So when I was growing up, I was surfing as well, getting into surfing. The surfing world was taking over as well. I was going surfing all the time, and then working at night, helping Joe out on weddings and stuff like that. So I could see the commercial side of it. But again, like you said, there are those guys. I think at the time it was Terence Donovan in the 80s. Obviously Snowden was still about. All these really famous photographers who were out, in the magazines and all these in Rolling Stone and all these really cool magazines and stuff like that. So I thought, yeah, let's have a crack at trying to break into London. And funnily enough, I sent all my transparencies, which are all these 35mm slides, into an image bank, trying to make money out of stock photography. That was my first. And that's through help from one of Joe's daughters, Linda, who was working in an ad agency. So she got me through the door onto the sales side of stock photography, which was great. But I wasn't making a name for myself. I think as a photographer then, once your name was known within the UK, at least, then you can branch out globally and have the right contacts. So, but anyway, things didn't really work out for me in London because I did go apply as an assistant, a few jobs, and I went to a couple of magazines and they just said, "Oh, just go back to Jersey, mate." So, have you looked at my work? I said, "No, there's too many photographers. There's too many young photographers like you."
Oh, so there are already too many.
Yeah. Well, there was guys, assistants.
Are we still in the 80s now?
Yeah, we're still in the 80s.
Still in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
So there were already too many photographers then.
Well, not too many. There were just too many who had the right contacts, and I'll explain further because what happened next. I was working with Joe. Started after that. So really, when I was really getting employed, was from 82 to about 86. That's where I was really starting to work. And basically, the walkies at night time was earning me more money per day than I was all week working commercially with Joe. Now, that was interesting because loads of people are loving pictures themselves. And I remember one day I actually earned £600 a day. So that was in 84, something like that. So that could equate now to maybe, I don't know, 1,000 something in one day.
More than that.
Well, whatever it is, yeah. So that's what I was earning back in the 80s. So I was just banking it. Then the Evening Post was a major, media outlet here in Jersey, and it was well managed, well run, believed in training, which is a key element, I think, now to photographers who want to do stuff. And they sent me straight to Sheffield to do a NUCTJ course, which is basically a course recognised by the newspaper industry as something. You are a photographer that can handle himself basically anywhere, any place, with limited resources in any type of weather. So basically it's a bit of a training to see if you can deal with situations, So I had 2 years doing that, and basically I would be sent out on jobs around the Sheffield and Yorkshire area to pretty tough areas. I remember one place where the tutor sent me to Manor Park, which is on the east side of Sheffield, really run down, depressed, real tough. I mean, cars are jacked up in front of your face, wheels stolen, and I had to document a family around there,
Right?
who were really, they were primed. They were obviously primed to give me a hard time. I think they'd be very aggressive towards me.
Just one family?
Yeah, no, it's a set-up family, but they knew that I was coming along, because obviously in that area you couldn't walk down there other than getting stabbed or whatever. Yeah, my first, little Jersey boy up there, hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
And they just look at you, so you're a zombie, go. So yeah, that type of style of photography, yeah, you start learning how to deal with people in different areas around the world.
What do you think the biggest lessons you learned in over that period of time were?
Being resilient, again, believe in yourself, believing that you can use your camera properly. Believe that you can, if batteries fail, you can still work manually. The cameras we use are mechanical. If your light meter went down, doesn't matter, it still works. As long as you knew
anymore, but
but as long as you know your f-stop. And one of the key factors that Joe used to say, you got to read light. Okay, it's a grey day today, 400 ISO. What is it? Well, I can tell you it's 508. You've got to know your ISOs, you've got to know your shutter speed, you've got to know, even if you're looking now through your camera or at the back of the screen. I mean, I still use cameras which are through the lens metering. I don't use the back screen mirrorless, only because my eyes are slightly fading now, and it's easier for me to focus. Go deal with that as you get older.
So alongside light, though, what else did you learn about human behaviour?
So if you go into an alien environment where people don't know you and you've got cameras, I think you have to be respectful. You've got to be polite. You've got to be, you have to literally explain who you are, what you're doing. Otherwise, they're not going to trust you at all.
It comes back to trust, right? And would you say trust is instant when you walk into a room?
It can be with certain people. If you're giving a persona of aggression, I think you're going to fail. If you are happy, smiley, how are you doing, and be very, careful what you're doing, especially with shorter lenses, 50mm, or if you've got wide angles, so you're slightly close. I mean, a lot of the photography I do, I use 600mm and 800mm, so I'm miles away. Yeah, so for travelling, especially, because back in the 80s, I used to travel a lot through surfing. One of my best trips was through Morocco at the time. Spent 4 months travelling around in a van. And again, all I had was a standard lens and my film camera, and that's how I learnt that side of it as well, walking around all the markets and the souks and meeting, little surfer 20-year-old wandering around and going, what are you doing? I just gave half the time I used to give the impression to people that I wasn't just a tourist and just a complete idiot, which is great. But even though you know what you're doing, you say, because you can see a shot, see the light coming through a window, and you're going, oh, that guy just moved slightly that way. I've got it. And you've got a really good portrait, or you can bumble about a bit and then go get the shot.
So would you interact with your subjects, or would you kind of capture it more of a street style?
I prefer to do it more street style. Okay. But you've got to be, if you're spotted, it's always handy to go and ask, do you mind? And half the time they go, yeah, don't worry, where do you want me to sit? Or I just really like the light. Talk about the light. Don't talk, especially in these Muslim countries, they all get worried about, souls moving out and stuff. You just got to be really careful.
I like that, talking about the light. When everybody has got a camera in some interesting worker in the streets of Morocco, and they've been photographed 100 times before you've even got there. Yeah. There's a different kind of connection that you have to have with people now. But I don't know if you see it like this, but when if you still use the same approach that you used those years ago, whereas you smile at them, you have a chat with them, maybe you talk about the light, you've done way more than anybody else has done with a camera where they've just like put it in their face and snapped it and haven't asked you a question.
Absolutely.
And I'm seeing that happening all the time now, and it's just disrespect, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, they might have been photographed 100 times, but if you're actually nice to them and you still use that approach that you used years ago when nobody had a camera, but they still appreciated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That is absolutely it. I think it is anyway. I think you've got to be, you've got a camera, you're taking an image, and that image is probably going to could go viral or global. Back in the day, it was straight to an agency for me, and you just got to explain all this, to somebody who doesn't speak English. You've got to be approachable, and you've got to have that human contact. And like you said, lots of people now don't even do that. They just sit away, don't engage, and that is because they haven't been trained, or it's their style of way of doing things, which doesn't really help, I don't think, to the world.
Did you feel that you were seeing the world differently, and lots of people were missing it?
I think so. I did it old school, getting especially vans and stuff, and just travelling by itself. I mean, I went to Morocco with my mum once, and she loved it. She just wanted to go on holiday because she's fed up with my dad. And it was funny enough, it was before joining the JP. I said, okay, Mum, look, I've got a week. I'm going to go surfing at Anchor Point. And there was nobody there surfing at Anchor Point in those days. So it was brilliant. She stayed in she thought she was some sort of Hollywood glamour mum staying in this hotel. One day we went for a visit around a souk near a place called Innisgan, which just so happened to have one of the biggest jails in that sort of side of Morocco. And again, I had my camera and I was wandering around. Mum was looking at all the spices, going, "Oh yeah, I could use this for cooking when I get home." Yeah. And I was taking pictures of, people and all that. Unbeknown to us, we were being tracked by the secret police, who were a bit worried about what we're doing. Young bloke with a camera and a elderly mother wandering around, and I was taking pictures of, dare I say it, just banks and buildings and mosques. And suddenly I got picked up, frog marched into a car, literally just off the street, by two guys in leather jackets. Said, "Who are you? What are you doing?" And I'm a tourist.
I think you're a spy or something.
Well, I don't know what they thought, but I said, "I've got my mother. My mother is over there." So another two plainclothes policemen went and got her, and they didn't drag her. They sort of politely walked into the same taxi. So we then got moved to Innisgan jail, and it's a bit like, there's a film called Midnight Express. There's a similar situation where you have a big arch and a gate, and then you hear people screaming and shouting, and go through another gate, and it's just stank of donkeys, and go into this room, and the chief of police is there. So, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm a tourist." And they were just saying, "That's a likely story, isn't it?" I said, "What? Why? What are we doing? We're not doing anything wrong. I'm getting spices, I'm taking pictures." And said, so anyway, after now, they gave up with us and they let us go, but they wanted my films and stuff, but I just gave them another film, which I had in my pocket, which has nothing on it, and just left very quickly. So yeah, that was one of my trips. So anyway, going back to getting into the real world, those sort of stories, even with your family, I mean, it's ridiculous, but you can't make it up. You get arrested, My mum was saying, even when she was, just about to pass away, "Oh, that was a good trip." So, yeah.
That's a nice memory.
Yeah. No, she went off, thinking, "Oh, well, we at least done some stuff for my son," and, done some mad stuff. Been on a surf trip, she said.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're still going away with your son now as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
You've always done that. You've always, I mean, how old's your son now?
30.
Right, okay. And it's great you guys are still going away.
I've got to still surf what he surfs now. That's the harder thing.
You can do that.
Yeah, I know. I'm finding it tough.
You're the big wave surfer.
I know. Just survival it's I'm in a new era now of surfing, where yes, I can surf that size wave, but it's the survival side of it. Finding where you just got to put a bit more effort in training, and I'm finding other ways and means of doing that. And one of them is actually joining the ROI, just keep me up to speed with all the fitness side and just the casual care side as well. So it's just in case I break an arm, leg, have a wound punctures, things like that. I think my mental state's all right, especially underwater, as you know, big wave hold downs. Nothing too dramatic. Lanzarote was pretty big, and I had one real big hold down, and that did come up past me, and then got hit again and again, and ended up the other end of the sort of bay. I went, you know what, that was tough, but I survived it. But I can do better.
You knew how to survive it.
Yeah, I survived it, and but then when I did eventually have a breather, while I was stuck in the rip and just sat on the board and contemplate what just happened. I thought, yeah, okay, I can work on this because I can surf this, but it's the case of things go wrong slightly. So again, I might be looking at air vests, things like that, just something.
Okay.
Just a bit of security, maybe. Just pop up quicker. But only when it's really, really big. We're talking 12, 15 foot ocean swell.
Have you got any fears, Dave?
Dentist. I hate the dentist. Even though I've got this new set of dentists now who they even hold my hand. Oh, it's great. But fears. Fear. You know what? I'm really fearful about the world we are in right now and where it's going to be in 20 years' time. We got the environmental issues, we got the economic issues, we got the geopolitical issues, we got serious things to be sorted out. It's only for our children, like the Olivias of my world, Brads, and
I guess
everybody's kids are going to come up, and it's political decision making at the highest level. And it's rather than being very belligerent and me, our country, and very nationalistic, it's got to be a bit more. You've got Russia at one side, and you've got America on the other, and China in the middle of all that. And
I guess that's the fear of the unknown, though, isn't it? I was having this chat with Kaz yesterday, and we were talking about, when he's sitting in the water, you have this fear of what's below you, and there could be sharks below you. But then when you actually get in the water and you swim with sharks, it's the most calming thing that you can do. There's that fear of the unknown, which everybody seems to have been put into now, and especially over the last few years with everything that happened in COVID. There are these mixed messages happening. But I guess on a personal level, because I think a lot of people are held back by fear.
Yeah.
And it's something I always like to kind of understand is how do we go past some of these fears?
For me, the biggest fear I had was leaving school, choosing a career that I did, and overcoming my shyness. Super shy. Couldn't talk to anybody. Scared of people. There you go. My fear of people.
That's amazing, isn't it? Because when you see you now, you can walk into a crowd or a room in any situation and you can just grab their attention instantly. And that was another thing that I learned from you, is just being able to just go into a crowd and just kind of
command.
Just be fun and command and get a whole crowd to listen to you and do exactly what you ask them to.
Yeah.
But to say that you were low in confidence before, like that's an amazing fear to overcome.
No, I would say, I had a fairly privileged background growing up. With that, you go, well, all these people are making it. Why? What? I want this career path, but how do I get over this fear? My first wedding I went on with Joe. We went. I went as an assistant. Didn't know what was going to happen. Didn't know what I was going to do. Had my suit on. Didn't really know Joe at the time. Really hard northerner, and anything you did wrong, he would have a go at you. Anything. Why have you done that? Why have you done that? You should be doing that. Didn't even say thanks or. So I was going, geez, how do I? I've got to please him. I don't know what I'm really doing because I haven't used any flash equipment. I can see something's going to happen and he's going to put me right in it. So that wedding set me off. And it all started really when, from the church service, I'd come out of church, take my cameras, put them in the boot of my car, and I'll see you there in a minute. I'm just going to see somebody, and we'll go to the reception, and we'll talk about what I do next. So I took his cameras, put them in the back of his car, and accidentally left the keys of the car in the boot with all his cameras. First job, right? As a little kid trying to learn photography. So the boss, chatting to the person, comes back, So are you right? And said, where are my keys? Have you got the keys? You know, let's go. We're going to get there in there. Like, we're going to get there in 20 minutes because they, you know, want to get a cake shot done, get some group shots. So they're in the boot of the car. This went mental. So you know, you get this fear factor now that you've let your boss down. Number one, that was number one. So he had to go to the garage. This piece of a garage. It happened to be Pete Chapman, another surf. He said, "Do you want a crowbar?" I went, "Yeah." He went. So he crowbarred and said, "You owe me 200 quid for a new lock in the bonnet, the boot." So I was sweating away, going, "I've let him down. I've broken his car, and we're off to this reception where I don't know what's going to happen." All these people talking to me, and I had a camera around my neck. He sort of had my Olympus. I think Joe being Joe, I sort of covered him just followed him around basically, doing a few group shots, and then he just said, "Here's a camera." Just literally went, "Here's the camera. Go and photograph all these tables. I'm going to sit over there and watch." And you know, that moment, I looked at it and I went, "Okay, got no idea what I was doing. I just
Winging it.
I'm going to wing it, but I'm going to gauge right. Obviously, knew my camera. That was number one. That was key. At least I know I got to shoot under a 60th because it doesn't work. These cameras didn't do that. Again, we're using film, so I was using Kodak at the time. I did ask Joe, so what do I set the Mets on? He said, "Just put it on f8." So I put f8 on the camera, and literally just say, "Excuse me," like little chirpy. Nobody was listening to me. Nobody listened. And then there's a couple of ladies there said, "Do you want help?" I went, "Well, I'm trying to get a group shot. Can you help me?" You know, this is at the first table. So I was just, you know, sweat was coming out. My heart was going through the roof. Can't let Joe down. You know, everything's about money. And Joe's just watching me all the way through. I didn't say anything. I went, "Oh, God." So, yeah, I was even more panicked. But I do remember that was my worst moment.
Oh, really?
Of fear, yeah. Trying to do that job with him watching, breaking the car, not knowing really what I was doing, and then trying to, you know, it's this career for me. Because all he said, "You've got to earn a living. You can go to London, you can do this, you can do that, but you've got to earn a living." And it all starts right here.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
When you said then that no one listened, did you feel that you weren't heard?
I wasn't heard. I wasn't loud enough.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, you find these people who they are quiet. I have a really good appreciation of people who are, you know, a bit shy, who are shy or like to stand off a bit and don't engage. You know, you can see them, you know, and you go, "Oh, that's a bit like what I was." And I was doing a job where you had to be seen to be doing, you know, be in command, be in control, know what you're doing. But dealing people and organising people was so difficult for me to start with. But then Joe just said, "Right, you're off onto the walkies," and that got me confidence.
Right.
Well, talking to people.
Just talking to people. Yeah.
Just talking, yeah. Because I could sit in a room and you go, "Ooh, what am I going to say?" So my stomach's going on.
Yeah. What's the first thing you do when you walk into a room?
I always say, "Hello, how are you? My name's Dave."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a photographer and I'm going to take your picture and see how we go from there. But we don't have to do it now. We do it, you know, in 5 minutes, 2 minutes. You know, you got anything to eat?
Yeah.
They usually laugh, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a good approach.
Or you use little things, you know. I mean, I watch a whole load of Austin Powers films, and they're just so good.
You are quite Austin Powers.
And it's like, you know, especially when people from that generation know what it is. And usually I'm spent, and they go, "Ah," and you get the next shot because they start laughing. You got it, bang. You know, there's your laugh shot. Techniques of rapport, I think. One way of saying it.
Not taking life too seriously.
No. Take your work seriously because that's you. I think, you know, your end result. You know, wow, you got to. See, Joe said to me also. He said, "Your last picture that's who you are. Your last, whatever picture you take, your last one, that's as good as you are. So if you did a rubbish one, that's how good you are. You're rubbish. Yeah, right. So yeah. So well, yeah. I mean, from the JP, brilliant. So I did my course, going back to that, I've overcome my fear by then.
Okay, good.
I'm dealing with people from all walks of life. I mean, on that course particularly, I was the most southern photographer because all the other guys are from either Scotland, Manchester, Newcastle, Wales. So they were all regional photographers, the same age as me, and over half of them are now picture editors of major magazines or national newspapers. So I keep in contact with them as well. And they always phone up and say, Dave, you still in Jersey? Yeah. Sorry, you all live in London, mate. I love, especially when it's hot and sunny, and say, what are you doing? So I'm going surfing, see ya.
You're a photographer. I think there's a stronger opportunity for photographers or anyone to make it in a big city like London. But then, so what kept you in Jersey, and what was it around? Why did you choose to stay in Jersey?
Right. Well, classic. So I've done my NUCTJ course, done that course. So I come back to the Evening Post. So I've got the drive now to go, right, I can make it now. I can go and work for a national newspaper, get into some heavy situations, war zones or whatever, humanitarian side, all those things are happening. So Ethiopia was in a crisis. There's a few other things going on as well, which I found interesting. Wondered if I'd be able to do that. Could I push myself and be a local photographer to full stream, freelance, national photographer? I wrote a letter to the Telegraph Times and the Guardian, just saying, is there an opportunity for somebody like myself, locally based? First response came back from the Guardian straight away. Come along, we'll see who you are, what you're doing, sort you out. I think it was the Rugby World Cup was going on in London. There's a few things going on. It was October time. Literally 3 weeks with them. But anyway, it's hit the ground running straight away. So I did 3 weeks with them, did photograph near enough everything in London. Worked on the picture desk, so I was dealing with funny enough, an Israeli crisis. That's been going on for ages. So that was happening. There was the rise of the Independent, the fall of Maxwell, and a few other things. And again, the World Cup was on, I remember. Had to go and photograph the Queen. So, yeah, I had a really varied time in London. Met some really, really, really good photographers from all the newspapers. Not only the guys at the Guardian, the staffers, and there was a couple of freelancers that worked with them, and they were all using different equipment, like Leicas. When one freelancer was using a Leica, I think, my God, how do you do that with all the stuff you got to do? Parallax issues, and but he was more of a portrait style guy, and he was just really out there. I went, wow. And then there was Frank Barron, who was the sports guy, and the main one was Eamon McCabe, who was the picture editor at the time, who was, in my view, one of the best sports photographers in the whole of the UK. So I really sort of buddied up to him a lot and try and get as much information out of him as well. And he was at a stage of his career now that he was from doing major sporting events, Olympics to whatever, all on film, black and white, lovely, beautiful imagery. He was going into portrait mode, and all this sort of stuff, and going, wow, Helmut Newton sort of walked in, I've got an exhibition on, said, I'll be down there, I'll photograph it. So off he went. I wasn't allowed. So learned a lot from the Guardian, a lot from the guys on the picture desk and how they run that. They had a night operators as well. It's a 24/7 operation because things were happening all around the world. Pick the phone up and there's a photographer in South Africa, Richard's getting shot at. People say, right, I'm under, here. I don't think I'll be able to get the film back because we're a bit, under the cosh. And you go, oh, geez, So the picture editor, another guy called Roger Tooth, and there was another guy, Alan, I've forgotten his surname. I said to them, what do you think? Do you know I'll get a career out here in London? He said, yeah, you can. But we're back to so many photographers like you. I would go back to the Channel Islands and dominate that region, including northern France. And we'll use you all the time. So that's what I did. And that's my reason. Freelance, obviously whenever it came up with the Guardian, and then do weddings on the weekend. So I had all this going on, like a little mini empire.
Okay, yeah. So you became this big fish in this small pond.
Pool. Yeah. So
but then wasn't it? You'd been a surfer for years as well. Were you drawn back to the coast? Did you want to get out of the city for that reason as well?
Yeah.
There's a draw to the ocean.
Always.
What makes you happy?
you want to be by the sea. You want to be in the surf. So in other words, stuck in a tube, you know, grey, horrible winter London. Doesn't matter, any city. You know, if you're not near the sea, you can have a great city near the sea. It'd be great, you know, but that's not the case.
It's different though if you're brought up on an island or if you're brought up in a city. Like,
Yeah,
if you're brought up
yeah.
in a city, you're looking for that hustle and bustle. But if you're brought up on an island, you know what?
Yeah. No, I needed to surf. You know, even explaining on the Guardian picture desk what I do, you know, and they go, oh, yeah, I'd love to do that. Every of them, all of them. Go, oh, God, I wish I could do that. And you start thinking, you know, what is it, a lifestyle or is it, you know, you've got to have a balance.
Photography is a lifestyle though, right?
Yeah, so I've worked, the balance is right for me here. My balance, my equilibrium.
Yeah, what do you do when you're not taking photos?
What am I doing? The surfing.
Yeah, that's it.
Or painting this house. Yeah.
Okay.
One of those two things, yeah.
I know that you've done a lot with the kind of junior surf team, and you put a lot of your days, months, years, energy into training the next generation. Why have you been so invested in that, and what's it given you?
Well, yeah, I've done over 25 years of that sort of help. Initially, obviously, my son was involved in surfing from a very, very early age, and all his mates were. All kids have ambitions and things they love to do. You know, why not? Why, you know, go and surf in France against John Florence when he was about 10. Why not? Have a go. At least you say you've been in the heat with him, even though you get wiped out. But so, yeah, I sort of saw that, and I saw it away as developing, especially that generation of, well, Bradley, my son's generation of surfers, to have a real deep respect for the ocean. Not only in the competitions, the key for me was, you know, the fitness side, survival side, and also the protection. You know, look after your beach, look after, you know, this is way back 20 years ago. Hopefully they will then, I mean, for instance, Jake Powell, who runs Jersey Surf School, he you know, keeps banging on it. So it's worked. You know, this generation are continuing that drive, you know, with the surfer, even though they're competitively minded, because these surfers are more competitive. They want to compete and they want to be the next Kelly Slater or whatever. Try and get them to reach a level where we can compete against England, Wales and Scotland and European level. That's great. But while you're doing it, you know, there's a bigger picture. And also I thought at the time as well, the education is key. So as well as your surfing ambitions and your environmental position, you know, you're an ambassador on the beach, young ambassadors, you know, other kids who aren't as fortunate as you, because your dad and mum are paying for you to do all this, be looking to you as a role model. So that was also important for me, for them to understand that. And I think it has worked. And then obviously Ocean, you come along and it just reinforces it. And other you know, the climate side of everything, it's all, you know, bubbling up again, you know, big time now.
It's given a lot of kids the opportunity to...
It's opportunity,
and you've educated them about ocean safety. You brought them together so they all work together as a group, they all look out for each other. And that really is kind of ocean culture, and that's... It's so important to be... I mean,
they're all lifeguards now as well, Matt.
They're all lifeguards,
they're doing their service.
It used to be Australians, didn't it? But now it's all the Jersey boys, are just all the lifeguards.
That's key.
And they're so on it all the time.
Key,
so
really
nice.
key.
That's a bit of advice, you know, anyone that comes over to Jersey and they want to go in the ocean, what should they do? What's the first thing they should do?
Well, they should see a life. Well, I don't know. You should go and speak to somebody who's experienced one. So you would go to a surf school, surf club, academy side starts in June, I think, or May. So again, you should join a surf club, the Jersey Surfball Club, the oldest surf club in Europe, and you learn that way as a youngster. For the adults, who just want to pick up surfing, go to a recognised surf school, speak to whoever's running it, and just ask for, you know, you've got to ask information. Tide's key. Keep hearing it year after year. Don't get caught out.
You think it caught out, third biggest tidal movement in the world, so people need to know what they're doing. You know, there's a small group of kids that go surfing, but there's also this like much broader scale of children that don't have the opportunity to. They don't even go to the beach. Do you see any opportunity, any way to get more underprivileged kids to the ocean?
Yeah.
Are there any? Do you see any?
Well,
answers?
we had an
Do you have an
initiative with the
answer
youth
for
service about this
that? Okay.
a couple of years ago.
How did that go?
It was really encouraging, really good. Some of these, again, because of safeguarding issues and stuff like that, you know, it's a bit hard for them in groups. We had about 6 groups in the academy, so they all fitted in each one, boys and girls. And obviously they didn't know how to put wetsuits on, stuff like that, so I had to tell them how to do that. But again, they were accompanied by qualified youth service staff, so they could watch everything.
Have you seen any? Have you seen any of the students kind of coming up from being in a really bad place to discovering the ocean and it changing their lives?
Yeah. From single parent families, from families where there's been abuse. I won't, you know, divulge, but all the things you can think of. Yeah, we've had children who have been in the sea, come out and loved it. Some of them haven't carried it on, but they've moved on to other things like boxing or sport, something. Sometimes it's good to get the aggression out as well, and that boxing always is handy. Again, as long as it's controlled.
It's discipline, though, isn't it? Boxing's discipline.
Yeah.
And
There's some great coaches, Ben Murray and Alan Murray. Something like that.
Alan,
those guys,
Alan's
you know.
Amazing guy. I'm going to chat with him as well, actually.
Alan's he is so good.
Yeah, and it really does build respect, isn't it? But then it's what we have by going in the ocean is being in nature,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that's being lost these days.
Yeah.
Spending more time in our nature. Right?
Yeah, but being in the sea is just so good for the soul. Get away from everything, don't you? Just get in, have a few waves, maybe have a beer with the lads, girls, or whatever after, and then carry on. And then do it again. Or if it's really big, go out and get absolutely hammered, nearly die, and then go, whoa, I survived.
And then enjoy a beer.
And then have another
bit
bit.
out.
No, it's like, yeah, for me, it's just great, you know. It's just, you know, why go and have a game of tennis? Go and see.
Can we go through some of these slides?
Yeah, I mean, these are random. So it was so cold, it stopped working. Talking about cameras and manual, all the light reads went, so it was a wind on. So I was winding on, it didn't work.
So I mean,
I had a motor drive on that one.
So you're either shooting with a 600mm lens or you're in the water. So what, you know, where do you?
I think I was a 600 there. I was in the water there, 24mm. The only lens I had was a 24mm back in the day.
You get the most enjoyment from being in the ocean and shooting from the
I
ocean?
think in the ocean, yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
This is a great shot here as well. So what's that?
That's Goldsmiths, high tide.
What, 2013? What's the number there?
What doing there? 32, that's a print. I think that was early 2000s. But
Have you got any? Are there any pictures here that really kind of stand out as being one of your favourite all-time shots? Yeah.
so I was feeling shapes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
South Africa, Gran Canaria there. There's Kenya again. There's South Africa. Antigua. There's Cape Verde Islands. So yeah, I've got a few. There's France. That's good. I haven't even seen this in ages.
I don't know. There's just chicks in this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll see what else I've got. I've literally just threw whatever together. With the lever. Where's my eye loop? God, where's it gone?
You should have said I could have bought one.
See what I've got here.
So what were these ones with the Queen then?
The Queen?
Is that?
That was the Lord Mayor's show. Or was it the state opening of
But
Parliament?
you're on the Mall.
I was on the birthday cake, yeah. Mad stuff. God, all over the place here, isn't it?
Oh, so you shot that with a long lens. Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
200mm, isn't it?
Early shark stuff.
Early shark stuff. There we go.
You dive with a lot of sharks? Go and have a look. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Is that when you were with your friend? Who's your friend out in Hawaii then?
Carl, he's the doctor now. He's passing all his knowledge over to all the uni people.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I don't know. I got all this, random stuff here. Complete random. I haven't seen these in bloody 50 years.
Did you ever go and...
Oh my God, look, there's old surf stuff. Peter Brewley. Oh, there's me in Morocco. Oh, there's an early shot of me here. Camera somewhere. Got to find it first. I wonder if I'm in this lot here. Oh, yeah. They see the one in the blue shirt down there. That's me. You're probably better off looking at this.
Yeah.
Bloody crazy, isn't it?
So this.
Which one's it?
I wonder where it is.
Can you get some shots of you?
Yorkshire. That was a good place to go. Doing all my crap.
Do you know what? I might set up a light in here.
Yeah, personal. The Dave Ferguson special.
What's that? So where else do you spend a lot of time? You used to go to Morocco a lot? Did you?
Oh,
you spend a lot of time in Hawaii?
Yeah, I've been there 4 times. Morocco, probably about the same. Canaries, South Africa, surfing. What else have I been? Maldives.
Where would you surf in Hawaii?
Oh, North Shore, wouldn't I? Really got to be there, isn't it? Oh God, is that me again? Me again.
Let's see.
Look, that's 1982, I think.
Where are you?
Down there, on the right.
And that one there.
Yeah, down the front. That's Don. No, it's not Don. John Thompson. I actually did a book.
You got what?
I did a book. Aha, there it is.
Let's get some flash on the subject.
I wonder if I haven't seen this in about 20 years either. How bad's that?
What's that?
They're quite handy, those things, aren't they?
What, the little flashes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super handy.
Need to really maybe put that there. That one there. What's the one there? Pro Light.
Pro photo, yeah.
I thought you used Elecon.
I did, but
I'll tell you what, I'm looking to get one of these because they're so good. I'm going to get a picture of it.
I used to use Elecon, but this is such a small.
I know.
Easy.
The smaller the better, isn't it? Do you think?
It's the same size as like a 70-200mm lens, so it just fits in your bag.
Yeah.
With ease.
Oh, I've been trying all sorts. I just use my speed
I
light.
trigger somewhere, but typically I don't know where I put
Trigger's here.
Oh, there.
It's like me. You're like me. No, I'll go a job and I'll go, right, okay, I'm all set up. And they go, I don't know where my camera is.
Yeah.
And you get some director of a company going, these guys are twat, aren't they? Yeah, I'm a twat. I don't care. Whatever.
I did an event recently in Istanbul, and I left my camera at the event.
Oh, there you go, Cam. Look. There's me. That's in the studio with Joe.
What?
1985, look.
Wow.
Oh, there's me coming back from, was it Morocco or was this, but look, there's my little flash. Look, there's my M10. And you remember coking filters? You screw it at the end of the camera, you just think you could slide filters on the back. Yeah. I thought you used them. Coking, do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember coking.
You remember them?
I remember them.
That was on there. So we got, it's Hawaii. There's a Jersey farmer for you. There's Albania doing a humanitarian aid thing.
Oh yeah, cool.
That was post Hodja regime, where the communists had just left the country and it was in complete chaos. And I went down with a party. We took some bull semen down to get the Jersey cow population up and running. That was early.
Oh yeah, okay.
That was Brad early days. When was that? It's got to be. That's France. Yeah, that's the Bourdain. That's in Barbados. That's Roy Bookbinder, an old guitarist. There's Morocco. It's Marrakesh. You know all these classic shots. Marrakesh, if you go there.
So cool, isn't it?
Isn't it mad? Nothing changes, is it?
No.
There's Guadeloupe. There's my mates when we used to go. That was back in the 80s. Look at that.
Wow.
That was me. I think. Yeah. It's all a bit. But
Fuck, you know.
yeah. Agencies used to use them all the time.
I remember that shot.
Yeah. The old classic.
The old classic, mate.
The old V-dub. Anchor point. Old Seb shot.
Oh yeah.
Seb. There he is. That was at Cutty Sark. In Morocco. God. Kenya. Portugal. There's a low tide wave.
They turn splash.
Oh, look, it's some of the
Where's
80s.
that?
That's some of the 80s stuff. That's on the Mimir.
That's rad. Love that.
Mimir. There's a Mimir. Some of my mates. Carla Bot. Used to dev it all, you know. That classic. There's Jakey, pal.
Classic low tide splash shot. Where are these?
That's Anchor Point. This is all developed now. It's all been ruined. But these are all transparencies, but the quality's gone a bit weird.
Some great shots there.
Cape Verde. Soup Bowl. Barbados. Somerset. Cape Verde again. This got bloody hotels here now.
Is it?
Yeah, completely gone. They had a sort of mini coup and they smashed out all the buildings. But there you go. There's North Nepali coast of Kauai. Kauai. There's back to Orzolo, Lanzarote. It's in Ethiopia.
Oh wow! How is it in the Ethiopia?
Well, they're all dying. Yeah, pretty heavy. They're all waiting at a food station.
Then though, when was that? You were there in the
2001.
famine? No way.
Yeah, 2001.
Wow. Okay.
92, Albania. They got flooded. Nothing to go. Okay, yeah, this is Ethiopia again. So obviously I was working with Oxfam, and the whole key thing about their thing was about water quality, and obviously
Clean water.
these guys are getting all the water out of these streams, which are full of. So this is an emergency centre. So looking after all these kids had to be immunised against every single known disease, including malaria.
Where's this then? California.
That's California, man. That's Dana Point. There's a cow. Got to have them.
There's
Everybody's done a cow.
Yeah, everyone's done a cow.
There's Grooville. There. That's old Marrakesh.
Oh yeah, wow.
Back in '82. And there's Imlil back in 2007. Tagazout back in 80 something. Again, that's Waimea Valley. There's Antigua. Just seeing what I've got here.
Oh, this is great. Just love it.
Oh, look, the old foot. Do you remember that? That's one of my walkabouts.
They should have kept that there, shouldn't they?
Well, look at the new one. It's not like this one, is it? I mean, that's the classic. They try to copy it, but it's not the same. Yeah. And again, oh look, it's a wedding. I had to photograph a wedding in Albania, Greece, on the border, top of a hill. Look. And this way had no language at all, right? So, talking about having a smile, get together. I'll do a picture, and they went yay, and they kissed the bride. He didn't want to, but she did. But little did they realise that their country is just completely wiped out.
I like the documentary style there.
Yeah. There's an old lady. Look at her shoes. She's got flip-flops on. Look. I said, I jokingly said, I know how stupid, I get myself into trouble now and then. When she came down, I said, oh, you're sponsored by Billabong. And she just looked at me. I was looking at this. She had Billabong. They look like old thongs, isn't they? She just went, yeah. Yep, brilliant, mate. Yeah, there's my Kenya one.
Oh, yeah.
Portugal.
Oh, that's cool.
Algarve before it all got developed.
Wow.
That's El Cointro. It's not El Cointro. It's next to Albufeira. But look how run down it is. Hey? The old classic. There's my classic.
That's a classic.
That's the Oxbow in 94.
94.
Or 94, that one.
When Joel Tudor was over.
Yeah. A lot of people buy that. You put it on canvas and all sorts, But that was late an Italian, I don't know which one it is. Bigano. That one. Portugal again, walking around.
Wow.
Mad, isn't it? There's the old lava, big island. Albania, kid going to school. Look, there's this school. Completely smashed. That's Bridgetown. There's South Africa. I walked into a segregation, right? So in other words, there's a black bar and a white bar. And I walked straight into the black bar. Meet the locals, have a pint, So these boys, obviously, no whites would speak to them. And I was there, literally like this.
Oh, the whites just wouldn't speak to them at all?
Well, no. They're all anti,
That's
do you remember it, the
crazy.
apartheid and all that?
Yeah.
So I walked in their bar, took a few shots, and then walked into another bar where the whites were supposed to go, and there was nobody in it. So there's an old water shot. So you got the transparency again, paddling out. The old cloud like that. There's old Brad. Marrakesh. Got the mosaics down there as well. Cape Verde. Full moon, please buy. It's full moon. Look, there we go. Had a few drinks there as well. Tortola. Oh dear. That's when I went with Steve Harewood, funny enough. Yeah, he's gone there.
I only found that out yesterday.
Yeah. So yeah, there you
That's
go.
a good one there as well, isn't it? Let's see that.
That one. That's Ethiopia again.
That's a crazy shot. That's so good.
They like that because when a lot of photojournalism is all about destruction and looking really hard, and they liked it only because like everybody's smiling, happy. So
Yeah, that's
a
good.
negative shot is more of a positive shot rather than a.
It's good to share
Which is
that.
good. The good side of actually humanitarian aid working in an environment which is just hell, and it's even worse now. I mean,
What do you think about where do you think journalism gone and going?
well, hopefully it's doing the right thing, telling the truth. Yeah, I've got this thing, Project Edit, which I'm trying to get all my stuff together.
Can you just have a little closer look at the slides there, just at the end?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want that one. What I could do, I'll tell you what I will. I can maybe look at some neg as well.
Yeah, get quite a few of them on the light panel there.
Yeah.
Get a few slides in there, yeah. No, yeah, put that in there as well. Yeah. That's good. I'll put this. Put that there.
Oh, Mark Richards. There he is. Arlene, Ren.
That's good.
Put that there.
Just put that there.
Get a phone. Oh, use a phone, you know what I mean? Cup of tea.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there you go. That's it. Look in here. That's it.
Have light. Come on, let's have.
Yeah, you gotta be looking at. You gotta be looking at the light. You know that. All right, put the tea down.
No,
get rid of the tea.
That one. All right.
Actually,
get
kind of leaning on the table like this, looking at it. With two hands. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
It is good. I know. Is this your thing? Tiger. Come on.
You've got a load of pots and pans behind your head here, but it still works.
I know, we did this last time. The pots and pans work because I'm in the kitchen.
Hold the slide up towards the light there.
Yeah.
One slide panel, yeah. Bring it a little bit closer to you.
Yeah.
Looking a little bit over to the left over here. Not so far. Yeah, about there. That's it. You got it, man. Ooh, I don't know.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to get one with my Rolly and my Nikon. Get past that one. I've never had a shot of my Rolly or Nikon.
Yeah, go on.
Go on then. Over here.
Oh, bad.
Oh my God, it's filming it.
Actually.
No. It's not the old, I'll tell you what, that's great focus, isn't it? Look at that. I mean, look, you look through here, Cam, when you get a minute. If there was film, you just...
Oh, so that's actual look through, not look down.
Yeah, that's the different one. Because I was so fed up of doing that.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a lot easier going my right and I can frame and I've got no parallax. I'm actually shooting. Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
oh yeah, I like that.
Oh, this is good though, isn't it? Look at that.
Oh, look at
Looking at the light, facing towards the light. Oh, there it is, mate. Looking around the side of the camera. Yeah, there it is. Give them a smile.
Tiger. I'm spent. I'm shooting, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Are there any batteries in there? Got any film in there?
No, nothing at all.
Got any film in there, Dave? Got any film in there?
I got no film. I've got no film. I've got no batteries. Nah.
A good one.
Did it work your juice though, did it? It worked, man.
Do you want the Nikon as well?
Yeah, go on. Oh, this is a good one. But I mean, look, I need to give it a clean. Oh man, look at this. This thing is done. All that Albania. There it is. There's the film. T-Max 400. Best film Kodak ever done.
Oh yeah?
So I used to rate the camera at 200 ISO, and instead of doing the dev time at a 400 ISO film, I used to dev it for 200 ISO, so the grain would come down,
I reduce the grain.
and then reduce the grain, and then upgrade when you're printing the paper. But I'm actually the look at that. See, it's still work. I've even got. I've even.
Have you got film in there?
I've even. Believe it or not,
Oh, this is good.
I got.
Oh yeah, looking up now. Looking up
I'm
now.
not going to see it.
Oh, okay.
I've actually got a light reading. Oh God, yeah, don't want to do that.
Yeah, hold the camera down a bit. Just looking up at me. Good.
Oh, this is stupid, isn't it? That's all good fun, isn't it? It's all techno wizzo. Look at that end bit.
Like, this is good, man.
I hit a car with that bit on the left.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Like it.
That's hold the whole hand.
Yeah, pots and pans.
You're holding the camera properly as well.
There's
like that.
there's some good light here. Let me just bring this down a bit. Yeah, go again on that.
Canon. See, Canon, they're good. So what Canon is that? Because
R5.
it's mirrorless, but you can see through there, can't you? See, it does the same, doesn't it?
But yeah, this is 2470. This one. That
Yeah.
lens. F2, which is really good.
Wow.
I pretty much just use that the whole time.
I would.
Except when I'm in the water, then I use 1635. Yeah, so I shoot that. That's great underwater.
Yeah.
I got my Nauticam housing. I put that in my Nauticam housing, and then above water, and I can just travel lighter now.
So what housing you got for that then? Do you put that in?
Nauticam housing. No, I've got a 1635.
Oh right.
So I've just got.
Does that go in the North Cam?
That goes in Nauticam, yeah.
So that's not for surfing though, is it? That's for your underwater.
Yeah, I still use it surfing.
Really?
It's just a
is that
heavy lump.
heavy thing?
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
Heavy. Took out some big waves in Portugal recently and
Survived.
Yeah, I survived. Yeah. I've taken out a pipe actually. In Nauticam housing. Got some really good shots there, mainly underwater, but it's not the kind of thing that you'd want to get hit. Like, thing is, surf housing is lightweight.
I'm just going to look at.
You can get hit with it, but you wouldn't want to get hit by the Nauticam.
See, I've still got the SPL. I'm using it. The problem is.
Yeah, right.
The problem is, it's great, but the camera that goes into it, they've deleted it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Everything's deleted.
That was the thing, because I had an SPL and I went to Hawaii, and the waves were so big that when I was sitting on I was so nervous before I went in that I forgot to screw them up. So I screwed them up halfway, and then I forgot to screw them up the rest of the way. So by the time I got out, back, breaking on the second reef pipe, it was completely full. Oh no! Yeah, it was completely full. I'd swim back in. Yeah, I'd swim back in straight away.
What a shame, isn't it? Oh God, no! Not that big. It was. It wasn't on the second reef, but it was solid.
It was solid, yeah.
And it's horrible with the wide set comes into the channel.
Oh yeah. Then you realise you're being caught in the rip, and then you're getting dragged into the impact zone. You've got to paddle. You see the surfers paddling. Oh, where they are.
Where are you going? Where are you going? This German photographer said, I'm going to die, yeah. And I saw him get pitched. I went, oh my God, he's gone. Didn't see him.
No way.
Disappeared, yeah. And he's on the beach laughing when I came out.
That's what you don't see on all the footage.
And I went, you know what?
You don't understand what's happening in there until you're actually in it.
No. And there's the Clarny brothers out there, and
how the waves always breaking in different spots, and most of them are closeouts. And
Jamie O'Brien was out there. Oh, it's like a big.
It's hairy.
Line out of people, and I had a standard lens. I'm not going close into this. I'll just stick it out a bit. And the German guy said, I'm going in. Because obviously he's a bit like me. He's going, shit, we're a bit out of comfort zone here.
Yeah.
And then he went, I'll go in. And he went in. And then I went, oh no. Oh, fucking hands, the set's coming. And he didn't hear. And then this roller, I was swimming that way.
Yeah.
With this bodyboarder and a few other people. And I came in after that.
Well, you got to learn the paddling right as well, right? You don't want to get caught on the paddling either.
Yeah, well, I got pushed in, sort of near going back to the impact zone, and then I waited for a small wave, and then just got pushed in.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, thank you for that. All right.